श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Okay, Sunita, let's chant from 21. सुखमात्यन्तिकं यत्तत्
सुखमात्यन्तिकं यत्
बुद्धिग्राह्यमतीन्द्रियम्
बुद्धिग्राह्यमतीन्द्रियं
वेत्ति यत्र न चैवायम्
वेत्ति यत्र न चैवायं
स्थितश्चलति तत्त्वतः
स्थितश्चलति तत्त्वतः
यं लब्ध्वा चापरं लाभम्
यं लब्ध्वा चापरं लाभं
मन्यते नाधिकं ततः
मन्यते नाधिकं ततः
यस्मिन् स्थितो न दुःखेन
यस्मिन् स्थितो न दुःखेन
गुरुणापि विचाल्यते
गुरुणापि विचाल्यते
तं विद्या दुःखसंयोगवियोगं योगसंज्ञितम्
संविद्यात् दुःखसंयोगवियोगं योगसञ्चितम्
स निश्चयेन योक्तव्यः
स निश्चयेन योक्तव्यः
योगो निर्विण्णचेतसा
योगो निर्विण्णचेतसा
संकल्पप्रभवान् कामान्
संकल्पप्रभवान् कामान्
त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् शेषतः
त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् शेषतः
मनसैवेन्द्रियग्रामम्
मनसैवेन्द्रियग्रामम्
विनियम्य समन्ततः विनियम्य विनियम्य समन्ततः
विनियम्य समन्ततः
शनैः शनैरुपरमेत्
शनैः शनैरुपरमेत्
बुद्ध्या धृतिगृहीतया
बुद्ध्या गृहीतया
आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा
आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा
न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तयेत्
न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तयेत्
यतो यतो निश्चरति
यतो यतो निश्चरति
मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरम्
मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरम्
ततस्ततो नियम्यैतत्
ततस्ततो नियम्यैतत्
आत्मन्येव वशं नयेत्
आत्मन्येव वशं नयेत्
प्रशान्तमनसं ह्येनम्
प्रशान्तमनसं ह्येनं
योगिनं सुखमुत्तमम्
योगिनं सुखमुत्तमम्
उपैति शान्तरजसम्
उपैति शान्तरजसम्
ब्रह्मभूतमकल्मषम्
ब्रह्मभूतमकल्मषम्
युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं
युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं
योगी विगतकल्मषः
योगी विगतकल्मषः
सुखेन ब्रह्मसंस्पर्शम्
सुखेन ब्रह्म संस्पर्शम्
सुखेन ब्रह्मसंस्पर्शम्
सुखेन ब्रह्म संस्पर्शम्
अत्यन्तं सुखमश्नुते
अत्यन्तं सुखमश्नुते
So 27, 28. We were looking at both in the last class. So in 27, Krishna seemed to have said, Sukham yoginam upaiti. Uttamam sukham yoginam upaiti. That exalted Ananda reaches the yogi. That is what he had said. Then he must have felt that, Krishna must have felt, now, if I say this and leave it like this, Arjuna will think that from somewhere Ananda is coming and reaching Arjuna. And so just to negate that statement and contradictory statement he makes, and he says in the sloka number 28, Yogi Sukham Ashnute. Yogi Sukham Ashnute. The yogi gains happiness. Yogi goes towards Sukha. That is what he said. So, by these two shlokas, Krishna is making it clear to us that there is no gati involved. There is no movement involved. And that is because Atma is Swatasiddhaha, Atma is Swaprakashaha, and Ananda Swarupaha. Therefore, where is the question of Ananda coming towards us? Or are we going towards something called Ananda? So this is what we were talking last time. And so what that last topic we were talking was, how does this person, this yogi, gain this sukha? How does this person gain? And what kind of effort is needed? And Krishna has said, Sukhena. Sukhena sukham ashnute. That sukhena means effortlessly, without any effort. That is the topic we were discussing. And this is a bit strange, because this Shastram If it was so easy, we should have studied it long ago. And nothing happened. Only recently I got exposed to the Shastra, and somehow or the other, a lot of fits and starts, and on top of that, so much advice Krishna is giving. And only now we have started doing dhyanam. Only now started understanding what dhyanam is, what is the purpose of dhyanam. Karma yoga has slowly become clear, and there is something called jnana yoga, and this jnanam is very strange. And and then he is saying Sukhena Brahma Samsparsham. Sukhena, very easily one gets moksha easily. That is what he says. So now it must be, you can begin to guess the answers why he says Sukhena. Because the Shastram says you are already complete, you are already Purnaha, you are already whole, you are already free. You don't have to do something special to become free. You don't have to be somebody special, because you're already somebody special. All my life, I wanted to be somebody. I wanted to accomplish, I had wanted to gain this and gain that, and prove to myself, maybe prove to others also. But I've been doing this all the time. And each of that requires effort. It is not easy. It is not easy to prove yourself to others. How much we've been trying to prove ourselves, huh? From our parents onwards. For the child, the parents are gods. And whatever it does, it wants to tell the parents, look what I did, look what I did, look what I did. And it's expecting some appreciation, pat on the back. Yeah, come on, you are the greatest. I knew. There is nobody greater than. And child says, yeah, really? Correct. And so we've been trained to do this. And then, but the problem is all life, after we leave home also, subconsciously we become like that. And wherever we go, subconsciously we may be seeking that approval. And then comes some Guruji, and then Guruji also, I want to seek approval from Guruji. And all theologies are there. Tell me one theology, tell me one religion that says you are the whole. Tell me one religion that says you're free. You're already free. You just don't know that you're free. You just need to know that you're free. Nothing. Not found. In fact, all tribal religions that existed probably had this idea. But we have finished them off. And there are no more tribal religions and all that. Because we've gone around and started civilizing all these people. But then that idea that I am always connected with Ishvara, and then more than connection, maybe there is no difference between the essential me and the essential Ishvara. And that is the vision here. But then this equality, this Mahavakyam is Tattvam Asi. Tattvam Asi in Sanskrit. Tvam means you. Tat means that. You and then that. And then Asi is the verb in that sentence. Asi is a verb. Asi means are. You are that. You are that. It doesn't say if you work hard, if you are devoted, you will become that. Correct? If God loves you and you make sure he loves you, don't make him upset, then you will become him. Correct? It doesn't say that. Nowhere in the Shastram it says that. The Shastram drives us to understand Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi. You have been that, you are that, you will always be that. That is what is being said. Doesn't say Bhavishyasi, not future tense, present tense. Present tense. Therefore, it is at least good to hear to begin with. I am not a sinner. I am not a pagan. I am not a kafir. I am not a devil worshipper. I am none of these things. Who am I? I am complete. I am sacred. I am anagha. First sloka. Asocha nanva sochastvam prajnam vadamscha bhashase Gatasuna gatasoscha nanu sochanti panditaha. And then later on he's going to say anagha, right? So anagha, I am sinless. I am not a sinner. I don't need anybody to, I even don't need anybody's blessings. Really speaking, Atma doesn't need blessings. As a human being, as a person who has assumed that, I'm going through a lot of suffering. Yeah, I need a lot of help, etc. That is fine. But Atma, essentially, Atma, is already free. Tattvamasi. Therefore, Sukhena, what effort is needed for me to know this? That is the question. We already saw before that Pariksha Lokan Karmachita, right? So, having examined Mundaka Upanishad again, having examined my life experiences, then I find that what I'm seeking is whole, nothing less than the whole, being complete. Because anything less than the whole will leave me inadequate. Inadequate. That Ananda means whole, Anantam. That is why Ananda and Ananta go together in our Shastra. Look at that. See, very interesting, right? Anant means endless. Ant जिसका नहीं है वो अनंत है. So endless, limitless, infinite, and Ananda, they go together. Ananda, because in a moment of joy, the subject-object division vanishes. There is no more subject, there is no more object. Only thing there is whole. Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate. Correct? Purnam. That Purnam, all that is there. I am the one who creates that division of limited, multiplicity, manyness, all this. There's no manyness. All you have to do is analyze this green pencil, correct? To understand that really there is no manyness. Okay. So, and therefore, this starting point is like that. The Shastram starts like that, and the Shastram ends like that. Purnamadaha. Therefore, this has to be Sukham only. This has to be effortless. Parikshalokan karmachitan nirvedamayat brahmanaha nasti akritaha kriten. So that brahmanaha, who is this brahmanaha? Not somebody who is wearing this pattai and all this thread and all that. No, not that brahmana. The guy who recognizes that, hey, Brahman, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, like that boy whom I met in the community college long ago, and he's wearing Omkara, wearing a necklace with a Om at the bottom. It's an American, white American. And I asked him, what's up, dude? What is this thing you're wearing? And he says, yeah, Om. It's the most amazing thing in this world. Om means everything. He blew me away just by that one statement. And so this boy, okay, he's about to do some bachelor's, he's get degree, he's standing in line to pay his fees. And that person understood the beauty of that statement. And so that is na asti akritaha kritena. That cannot be created. The Purnam cannot be created. Either I am already Purnam or I can never be Purnam. Not possible. This Purnatvam cannot be created. Na asti akritaha kritena. Kritena, by action, by karma, I cannot create Purnatvam. That is why all the happiness that I think I'm getting keeps going away all the time. Anitya. I'm happy now, I'm not happy now. I'm happy now, I'm not happy. This is how it is. And so this is why Krishna says Sukhena. And here this is that Atma is not created. That Atma is therefore called Swata Siddhaha. Swata Siddhaha. I had a pot here. Anyway, Swata Siddhaha. Let me get it since I mentioned the word pot. Swata Siddha means what? Self-existent. Okay, self-existent. This is a pot. Pot exists. Clay exists. But pot's existence is not self-existence, because pot's existence depends on something else called clay for its existence. Therefore, the whole world exists, everything exists. We don't have a problem. We don't say tree doesn't exist, you don't exist. All this we don't say. Everything exists. But their existence is dependent existence. Body's existence is dependent existence. Then we have to ask the question, is there something that exists without depending on anything else? Yes. And that is Atma, that is Brahma, and that is called Swata Siddhaha, permanently existing. Okay. Therefore, our pursuit is called what? This pursuit will become what? It is all along, it's been pravritti. Pravritti means I do something, I get something. I do something, I get something. I cook and then I get the food, and then I consume the food, do something, and then get something. That is freedom from hunger. Like this, life is all like that. Do something, get something. It is called apraptasya praptihi. Okay, apraptasya praptihi. Getting what you don't have. Getting what you did have has not been gained. Accomplishing what has not been accomplished. This is what we know. Life is all about that. I don't have something now. I need to do something and get it and achieve it. I don't have a degree. I have to work for so many years and then get a degree. All this is what we think of. This is what we know of life. But then here, it is not apraptasya praptihi. It is praptasya praptihi. Gaining what has already been gained. This is very funny. Gaining what has already been gained. How is it possible? Is it possible or not? This is the story I had read when I was a kid. Kuchu, the story of Kuchu. And those days we didn't realize it. We enjoyed the story very much. Now I am amazed that the Kuchu story is helping me in the Vedanta class. Okay. So Kuchu was searching for his glasses. Poor Kuchu. And screaming at everybody along the way. Come on, where did you come? You should see me. You are the one who takes care of the house. You should tell me. This fellow's glasses, you should tell him where his glasses are. What do you mean? All this, these people get away with a lot of stuff in a family and then scream at everybody. And now nobody opens their mouth. Let's have fun with it. This time I'm willing to put up with whatever you say. I keep quiet. I don't know where it is. You should be careful where you keep your glasses. You should know all this. Come on. You're a big man. You're working in a big company and all that. You say, no, one glasses you can't take care of. You have so many employees and all, you say. And all that. So finally, go. I think it is there in the restroom. Go to the bathroom and see. Turn around and see. I think you kept it there. Where? Suddenly, all noise reduces to zero. No more noise. What happened? Praptasya praptihi or not? Is it apraptasya praptihi or praptasya praptihi? Is it a gain of what is not accomplished, or is it a gain of what has already been gained? That is the question. That is the beauty of Sanatana Dharma. Only this Dharma says this moksha is praptasya praptihi, not apraptasya praptihi. Very, very important, very beautiful. When I heard this from Swamiji, that is when I said, yes, got it. There is no more. This is it. Everything else is a detail. All Upanishads, all Bhagavad Gita, all texts are all detail now. Now it's a detail. Sanskrit I may have to learn. Okay, that's a detail. We'll figure it out. People have learned Sanskrit before us. So why we can't learn Sanskrit? Teachers are there, good teachers. They will learn Sanskrit. Upanishads, I don't even know how to spell the word Upanishad. No problem. There are good teachers who can teach that also. No, it's never too late to start. Let's start. Okay. That's it. Praptasya praptihi. After that, it will succumb. All the way it will succumb. And you can't say, oh, I'm studying. It's very difficult, Upanishads. Yeah, if you do it by yourself, it can be difficult. That's why it says next line, line number 2. So Guru Meva Vigachet. Don't do things yourself. And just like every field, you need some guidance, and then get some guidance, and then it becomes Sukhe, Sukham Ashnute. And Sukham. Somewhere in the commentary, Bhagavan Bhashikara, Shakaracharya says, you have to do a lot of rituals to go to heaven, to Swarga. It's not simply, I did good and all that is not enough. If you're Vedic person, has to do all the rituals that are required to be done by a married person. Grahastha. Grahastha is the one who's qualified to do all these rituals, and they must do all this. And so everything has to be done. So Shankara says, in a very cryptic way, he says, oh, you have to shed tears. Why you have to shed tears? Because, a lot of smoke, yaga, homa and all is there. Smoke is going to be there. And if you're lucky, the wind is blowing this way. And the smoke is going on the panditas, Or if you're not so lucky, the wind is going to blow on your face. And you will be crying and doing this and that one more hour, only 1 hour, but it's a long 1 hour, okay? And you have to cry, the body is going to hurt because you're going to be sitting you are the yajamana, and at least the wife will be moving around here and there, and she's busy, she has a lot of duties, and she's doing all that, and this fellow has nothing to do, he has only to sit, but sitting at the same place is very difficult. And he needs a whole retinue of people bringing him water, bringing him some payasam, some coffee, everything. These days, you must have seen all that. People will be there because they understand how difficult it is to sit down for this long. And so that Shankara says, tears have to be shed. Pida, the body is aching, all these things are there. All to go to heaven. Okay. So he tells that. And so, so this sukham, to gain the sukham, look at how much difficulties they have to put up with. You analyze, all you have to do. Okay, suppose you say, I don't know anything about heaven. Okay, that's fine. You've gone to vacation. How many places you've gone to vacation for? So many places. Bali, Hawaii, this falls, that Niagara, this, that. So many things are there. Britishwara temple. Temple is good. Don't put temple in this example. Okay, temple, leave it aside. We will just look at the other, beach and all that. So going to Bali, and everybody packs their bags, and then go to Bali, comes back, and then somebody asks them, "Oh, hi, how are you? Last week we didn't see you. What happened? Yeah, how was your trip to Bali?" Don't ask me about it. Don't ask me. See, don't ask me about it means what? Please ask me about it. That is the meaning. See, when we say don't ask me, it means you ask me. I have a big lecture to give you. That is what it means. And so what happened? Oh, we went to the airport. Flight got delayed 4 hours. 4 hours. And my boys were driving us crazy. Okay. Then what happened? Then the flight we went there and all that. And the hotel room we made a big mistake by going with this agents. Big mistake. It's not the type of room we wanted. It's not good. Okay. Okay, inside is not good. What about outside? Outside, raining. Raining. Okay, so we'll somehow manage. Raining. Oh, one more thing I forgot. The luggage did not come. Luggage. Instead of coming to Bali, they went to Mali. So they made no mistake. Airlines also. They're also people after all. What can they do, Despite all the barcoding, So it went off somewhere. So we had to first go to the mall to get some clothes. And so instead of going to the forest, we went to the mall. And so this is the story. And then rain 2 days, 3 days. Then we're getting ready to leave sunshine. Saying goodbye to sunshine. So we didn't even say hello to sunshine. We are saying goodbye to sunshine. And then we came back. So for a little bit of happiness, some ananda in Bali, how much effort we have to put. Not easy. It's not easy. So it looks as though, to me, it looks like this. I want Sukham, but then this Dukkham is going, is ready to come, is ready to come. If I'm lucky, it just stays away from me. Otherwise, anytime, just without any notice, it just comes. Or just within a second, things turn around just like that. And you wonder what happened. That is why we start our day with a prayer. We say, you know what? We start our day, Karagre Vasate Lakshmi. Hey, Lakshmi, just watch over me. Okay. And then Prasada Buddhi also, because she is watching over you, but my karma is there. What can she do? She can't wipe out my karma. Poor Lakshmi. And so my karma is also coming. Therefore, Prasada Buddhi, go along with Prasada. Okay. So therefore, this is how this pursuit is. And it's an amazing pursuit because Sukhena Samsparsh and Brahma Samsparsham Sukhena Sukham Ashnute. Very beautiful it is. So from the search for Anatma, I am now finally said, oh, Atma, I've been ignoring Atma all along. So from Anatma Ichha, I'm going towards Atma Ichha. Correct? Atma Ichha. Okay, tell me a little more about this. I think this makes a little more sense. And I think maybe this is the right pursuit. So what is the first pursuit I said? It is called apraptasya praptihi. It is also called pravritti margaha. Pravritti. Pravritti means you have to do something and get something. The doing and getting and doing and getting. It's called pravritti margaha. Then the other one, this pursuit is called praptasya praptihi. Getting what you already have. And that is therefore called nivritti margaha. Nivritti. Nivritti means retreat. I suppose that's why all these ashrams, they call them, their programs as retreats, you know. Camps or retreats also this. We have a weekend retreat or a, whatever. Thanksgiving retreat, Diwali retreat, Christmas retreat. Retreat, how that word retreat comes? We have to look into that. I think you are basically retreating from your, as somebody, Aniruddha said once, it's a grind, daily grind. Retreating from the daily grind. I think that's what it is. And so, nivritti. This praptasya prapti is nivritti. Apraptasya prapti is pravritti. So those are two words that come to our mind. And so see, the Shastra is beautiful. We try to understand it properly. We're not trying to translate a couple of slokas, these words and all that and move. Not needed. Because once you understand it all, then you can understand any shloka at any time. Correct? Because the basic is understood, the fundamentals understood. It's crystal clear. And so we want to bring that crystal clarity. That is Swamiji's approach. And so after that, he will say, okay, you've studied, this chapter, 5 shlokas they have covered. Rest of the things you can study by yourself. Means I have made sure you understood what is very important to understand, and I have done a good job of it. That is what he's saying, correct? And everything else, don't ignore what I said. Just because you came to the camp 1 week and they said 10th chapter Bhagavad Gita, and all the chapter, so many verses are there in the second chapter, 72 verses, and he did. How are you going to cover so many verses in 1 week? Don't worry about it. Did you understand what I said? Purushartha. Did you understand what I said? Moksha. Did you understand praptasya prapti? That is so important. Did you understand Siddha Vishaya? Did you understand, therefore, knowledge and ignorance? How does that comes into play? That's it. Once you got it, then everything else is in detail. Okay. So therefore, the thing about karma is action can produce 4 types of results. Okay. First result is called utpadyam. Utpadyam means you produce something that did not exist before. Okay. Like having children, having a baby. Baby did not exist before, now it exists. So that is a result of karma, of course. And so that is one type of result of karma. Utpadyam. Okay. Then vikaryam. Vikaryam. Vikaryam is change. You change an object A and that object becomes B. Okay. Okay. Vikaryam. So like milk, you start with milk and you end up with curds. Curds, yogurt is a different product than milk. How much ever you say curds is a product of milk, still you can't take tea and say, oh, there's no milk in the refrigerator, so I'll have put some yogurt in the tea. You can't say that. It won't work. And so even the so that yeah. So anyway, so it's a different product. Okay. So this is called vikaryam. So utpadyam, vikaryam, then samskaryam. Samskaryam. Samskaryam means cleaning it up, making a little change, polishing, something like that. So first thing, what did we say? Utpadyam. Utpadyam. Can Atma be Utpadyam? That is the way to think. Can Atma be created? Did not exist before. Can we create Atma? Can we create this Nitya Ananda? Can we create? And we say no. Nasti akritaha kritena Mundaka Upanishad says. No, cannot be created. Because what is created is going to be anityam. And so you can't create that which is eternal, which is permanent. Correct? So it can't be Utpadyam. So maybe it is Vikaryam, like this milk to yogurt. Well, Vikaryam also not possible, because yogurt also is not permanent. It also becomes sour. It also is going to change and constantly changing. So if it was produced by change, then it will change to produce something else. Correct? That is how it is. So Atma cannot be Vikaryam. Then Samskaryam. So refining an object, polishing an object. So some weekends you dust all these things. Everything has too much dust. So you remove all the dust, keep it all clean. The furniture is all cleaned up. Clothes are all cleaned up. Samskaryam. The clothes that we use, we only clean it. So we are removing the mala from the clothes. So is that Atma like that? Because I've heard that Atma is covered by ignorance. So I have to clean up Atma a little bit, Atma also, poor Atma has been surviving for so long. And if our things can get dirty within a few days, and here all windows are open. And every time I keep my phone and then I lift the phone and then I have to look at underneath the phone. You know why? Because this dust. And then I have not dusted the table in a while now. So I have to dust it. That's how it is. So Atma requires a lot of dusting because we have not paid attention to our Atma for a long time. And so maybe Atma, Samskaryam. Then we say no. At best you can say Atma is covered by ignorance. At best you can say that. And that ignorance can be removed only by knowledge. Knowledge of what Atma is. And so Samskaryam also will not work. It's really not covered. Even ignorance, even to say I am ignorant, I must exist. Atma exists. Only Atma is what sustains ignorance. Atma is unopposed. It doesn't oppose anything. And so ignorance also is there. Just like knowledge, ignorance also is there. And it cannot cover it, Atma. Because ignorance is Atma. Atma is not ignorance. Correct? Wave is water. Water is not wave. Ignorance also is mithya. Correct? So that's the, and then what was the last one? 4 I said. I only said 3. Utpadyam, Vikaryam, Samskaryam. 4th one is Apyam. Apyam. Apyam means reaching a place. Because so far we have not talking about going from place A to place B. So this place is, Atma is not there here. Happiness is not there here. But if I go there, I will become happy. Very important, because that is, going from place A to place B. Tourism industry will not exist if this Apyam is not there. And so Apyam. So they say you must go to places. This place you have not visited, that place you have not visited. They make all this literature and then beautiful literature, the same place, then presented in so many different ways. And you have to go to the flight, and then the flight magazine is there. And then you look at it and say, Oh, India is such a great country, huh? So many beautiful places are there. I didn't know that. So at least that love for India will come when you go in an airplane. Okay. So it is not Apyam. Atma cannot be Apyam. So all the results of karma, which are of these four types, Atma doesn't fall into. Because if you say Atma is Apyam, that means what? Atma is not there here. It is there somewhere else, and that is not acceptable. Okay. So therefore, therefore, this sloka is therefore quite meaningful and vigata kalmashaha. Okay, so kalmashaha. So antakarana shuddhi. You know that the different words are being used. So one who has that antakarana shuddhi is a vigata kalmashaha, and so that is why we should slowly get away from this idea also that this is some kind of a jnana track. What path are you doing? What path of moksha are you following? Then I'm following the path of knowledge. I'm following the path of knowledge. Yeah. You are following path of bhakti and all. We have crossed bhakti long ago. For us, bhakti and all, we've grown out of bhakti. You people need to practice bhakti still. Only then you can come to knowledge path. Okay. So this is why we say first understand the problem. Once we understand the problem, only then the solution can be appreciated. What is the problem? What is my problem? Fundamental problem has to be understood. That is why we started with Purushartha. Some of you who missed the initial classes must catch up on the initial classes. Very important. Then only the rest will build on it. Purushartha, then you come to moksha. And then you say, understand what the Atma is. That fundamental problem is I am seeking something. This happiness is Ananda. And that Ananda doesn't come from anywhere. I am the source of that Ananda. And like this Kuchu glasses, I'm searching around. And if that is understood, then the only way out for this Kuchu is Jnanam. No amount of prayer can give Kuchu his glasses. He can be kind to people, correct. Some kindness will help so that some kind person can come and say, wait a minute. I know I can solve your problem. Okay, some kindness is helpful. And so some dhanam, etc. you can do. All that will help. Somebody will come and say, I can tell you how you can get your glasses. And so that much we can do. That is where antakarana shuddhi is needed. That is where attitudes are needed, values are needed. Krishna is going to talk about values later on. And so all that is needed. But then fundamental problem is, I don't know myself. If that is a problem, the only thing I have is knowledge of who I am. And the knowledge of who I am doesn't occur just like that. Tattvamasi, somebody says, it will make you think. But still, there is a long way to go from that point. And the long way to go because antakarana shuddhi has to be gained. Karma yoga buddhi, bhakti yoga buddhi, all this will come. So whatever yoga you talk about, my Guruji is teaching me Anahat yoga, if you say, fine, go ahead, follow that Anahat yoga, follow the Nadi yoga, but understand the fundamental problem. It is all meant for the antakarana shuddhi, which is meant for you to know, because moksha is not apraptasya praptihi, it is praptasya praptihi. Apraptasya praptihi means somebody will be successful. If you follow him, I'll go to heaven. If you follow her, I'll be better off. But our moksha is not in that category. That is why many paths and all people say that many path idea is possible only for praptasya prapti. Apraptasya prapti. Heaven means every religion is different. Through my religion only you can go to heaven. My heaven is the real heaven. Your heaven is the intermediate stopping point. After that, you'll have to come to my heaven. Okay, this is how they argue, and therefore all this is possible. Different religions possible only if it is apraptasya prapti. If you say praptasya prapti, then the job is over. Job is over. Then the whole pursuit is different. Then we are not going. There can't be any jihad. There can't be any fatwas. Why? Because there is no threat. You are the beginning. You are the source. You are the end. Everything is you. So where is the threat from anybody? Nobody can threaten me. The religion cannot be under threat. The vision cannot be threatened. There is no one, because it is talking about a statement of fact, and no mathematician can be threatened by some other school of thought, by some other subject. Nothing. Algebra is algebra. Period. Over. Nobody can threaten it. Okay. So therefore, that we have to just recall here. And so let's translate this shloka. Yeah, 28. Okay. Okay, let's see this. The meditator, comma. Because yogi is the subject here. Yogi, meditator. Because the topic is dhyanam. The meditator, free from conflicts born of adharma. Free from conflicts born of adharma. Always uniting the mind. Always uniting the mind with the object of contemplation. Always uniting the mind with the object of contemplation in this manner. In this manner, comma, easily gains absolute happiness. Easily gains absolute happiness. Born of contact with Brahman. Easily gains absolute happiness, born of contact with Brahman. And contact with, you can say after that within parenthesis, you can say recognition of. Recognition of. Just so that we don't think it is some kind of a physical contact. So let's, we have about 10 minutes left. So let's chant the next shloka. Sri Vidya. Yeah, you can unmute yourself. Sarvabhutastam.
Sarvabhutastam.
Atmanam.
Atmanam.
Sarvabhutani Chatmani.
Sarvabhutani Chatmani.
Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma.
Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma.
Sarvatra Samadarshanaha.
Sarvatra Samadarshanaha.
Sarvabhutastamatmanam.
Sarvabhutastamatmanam.
Sarvabhutani Chatmani.
Sarvabhutani Chatmani.
Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma.
Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma.
Sarvatra Samadarshanaha.
Sarvatra Samadarshanaha.
Yeah. Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. Samadarshanaha means some of you should be able to raise your hands and say, yeah, I think I've heard that word before. Yeah, few of you are doing that. So, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Chaiva Shvapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. Okay, we saw that. That Pandita, that wise person, sees the same in all these different kinds of people. Starting from the most worshipful Brahmana. Okay. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahman. That Brahman is not an ordinary person. And Vidya, he has knowledge, he has Vinaya, he has humility also. Because knowledge and humility don't seem to go together most of the time. And so, but this person knows a lot, but will not even talk one word about it. And then Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, that points of Brahman. And then Shuni is a dog also. And dog eater also. Like that, we saw that before. Panditaha Samadarshinaha. Yeah. Ani. Nirud.
I'm hearing an audio disturbance right now. I don't know if anybody else is getting that. At this last few sentences, Guruji. I don't know if anybody else experienced or I'm the only.
Vijay, what about you?
No. I didn't experience it.
Okay.
It was okay.
That's okay for you. Prasad had audio.
Okay, so I'll rejoin.
How many of you have had audio disturbance? Prasad and Surendra. Okay. And Anirudh. Okay. So majority don't have disturbance, Anirudh.
He's joining back. He left.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, the birds in the background. Yeah, can you hear the birds?
Slight chirping is there.
Yeah, these birds won't leave us. Look at that. You can hear them now. Yeah, that could be it also. Correct. That could appear as noise. It's nice. The trees are still there, and the birds, different kinds of birds are coming here. And I don't even know the names of those birds. Brown colored birds, and then black colored birds with a brown tail, and this and that. So many birds are there. It must be a great thing for bird lovers. Yeah, I'm also a bird lover. Don't think I'm a bird hater. Bird lover, but without knowing the names of the birds. That's what I meant. Okay. So this one, Samadarshanaha. So one who sees everything, sees the same in everything. Same concept has now come. Krishna has used the word Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. Okay. So the verb in this sloka, you must have guessed already, ikshate. First word in the second line. Ikshate is a verb. Ikshate means pashyati, sees. The person sees. Okay. Who sees? Yoga Yuktatma. Okay. Who is a Samadarshana? Those two words are subject. Okay. Yoga Yuktatma, who is a Samadarshana, Ikshate, sees. And what does that person see? Okay. Atmanam. That's the word in the middle of the first line. Atmanam. Okay. Sarvabhutastam, Atmanam. That Atma. He sees Atma. That's Yoga Yuktatma. She sees Atma. Okay. And what kind of Atma he sees? Sarvabhutastam. Okay, Sarvabhutastam means Atma as residing in all beings. Bhuta here is not this Bhuta Pishacha. It is not even Pancha Bhuta. It means living beings. Sarvabhuta means all living beings. Sarvabhutastha means Sarvabhute Bhuteshu Tishtati. So that which is there in all beings. So Atma sees the Atma as being present in all beings. That is the meaning of Sarvabhutastam. That Atma is qualified by the word Sarvabhutastam. Okay. He sees the Atma which is as being present in all beings. Okay. And then look at that. Sarvabhutani cha Atmani. And he looks at Atma in a different way also. What is the different way? Sarva Bhutani, all beings are in Atma. Look at that. First half of the first line says Atma as being there in all beings. Second half of the first line itself, without even moving to the second line, he says he looks at all beings as being present in Atma. Correct? See, this is a pot. Friend, pot is always there. No, we have to make the pot a little famous, right? I mean, poor pot. He can't be sitting in that thing all the time. So we got him out. This is a pot. Now, this is a small bottle. A small bottle of some medicine is there. It's these eye drops, dry eye drops. Okay. And thanks to Narendra Modi ji, what I used to pay 250 rupees, I pay only 25 rupees at the Jan Aushadhi. Okay. Where is 250 rupees and where is 25 rupees? He's brought down the cost of medicine so much. Nowhere in the history, nobody is reporting it also. Okay. Anyway, that's different. Besides the point. But this is a small bottle. Okay. Now, this bottle is inside the pot. Is inside the pot. Okay, that's acceptable. Now, can the pot be inside the bottle? Not possible. Pot cannot be inside the bottle. Pot can be on the bottle, possibly. If I hold it like this, then pot is on the bottle. A pot, maybe it is under the bottle, that is possible. Pot is on the side of the bottle, but pot cannot be inside the bottle. It's just, I can't even imagine that. Okay, that's not possible. Now, I'm sure we can come up with another example where A is in B and B is in A. I thought of an example. Okay, so a bottle is there. You will give me a balloon. Give me a balloon. Then, okay, our pot is a better example. A small pot is a better example. So you give me a balloon. I can place a balloon in the pot. I can place a balloon in the pot. And I say the balloon is in the pot. Then I can also stretch the balloon and then squeeze the pot inside the balloon. And then I'll end up saying, hey, now the pot is in the balloon. Both are possible. Correct? So that example is there. So we need to analyze this a little. And he says that this is a beautiful description he gives to Atma. Why does he say this? This we need to look at. And what is the connection between the example I gave and what Krishna is saying? All that we will see. It's almost 8:05 now. So now is a good time to stop. So here also, it is a result. It is a result of the dhyanam, of that nididhyasana, right? What is the result? The result is strengthening the vision, strengthening what you already know. You get nishtha. So jnanam is there, jnana nishtha. And nishtha is what? You know it better. Your knowledge becomes even more crystal clear and steady. And that is the result of that dhyana yoga that is mentioned here. And that is in the form of darshanatvam. Okay, we'll see more of this in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.